All we will move to the last part from the digestive system, that is absorption and assimilation plus some diseases and I have give you some questions here also which you can practice it and you can go through it. And I recommend all of you, those who are attend this class, please don't focus only in this particular notes. Go through the textbook. Reading of the textbook is very much important. There is no excuse from that, and if you are not reading the textbook, it will become very difficult in the future as per the new schemes and systems. So notes you can go through, but finally you have to read the textbook at least this chapter once or twice, or till you are understanding, not reading, till you are understanding. Like that you have to follow the entire bio, like that. Not only for bio, physics and chemistry also you have to follow like that, otherwise it will be difficult. And this practice is very much important in the 12th also, so your studies will be easy and faster. So the last part, that is absorption and assimilation. That means we have discussed till digestion, what are the different stages of digestion, enzymes, organs supporting it, alimentary canal, the complete structure, what is going on inside that. And we have discussed about the digestion also, different enzymes, its actions, and the products what it will give, everything we have discussed. Now finally we are coming after digestion, the absorption, what are the methods they are using for absorption, and after absorption what will happen. Then some diseases related to this, related to the digestive system, and the not proper digestion takes place, those things what is happening. So what is this is whenever the food is reached into the small intestine, that is the second part of the small intestine, there the proper digestion will start from the duodenum, and when it reaches to the jejunum, then finally passing through the large intestine, the digested food materials has to be absorbed. So these micromolecules, not macromolecules, these micromolecules like vitamins, tissues, etc. should be absorbed in. And this absorption is done in many ways. This is the brief or summary of whatever the absorption and digestion takes place. And here what are the different methods they are using, system is using for absorption, and what are the micromolecules which are absorbed through that. For example, the first and the foremost method all the system will uses, they will try to reduce the expenditure of energy. So the most common thing, that is simple diffusion. That means the movement of solute from a higher concentration or higher concentration gradient to a lower concentration gradient, that is known as a simple diffusion. And through this simple diffusion, amino acids, monosaccharides, glucose, these will be absorbed by the system. And one thing I have to say, that when I said absorption, when it is absorbed, these absorbed materials will never be directly given to the circulatory system. That means it will never allow directly enter into the whole systemic circulation, that means the whole body circulation. First, this absorbed food materials, whatever it is, it has to transport it to the liver through portal veins. So once it is transported to the liver, why it is transported to the liver? Because first it has to undergo purification and detoxification. Once it is done, detoxification is done, then it will be given to the normal circulatory system. So the portal veins from the small intestine, because small intestine area and the stomach area is richly supplied with the blood vessels, so they will carry these and connect it to the portal vein. This portal vein will direct these absorbed food material through blood to the liver, where detoxification takes place. After detoxification, it will be given to the normal system. So this has to keep in mind. And the first is simple diffusion, then is active transport. Active transport means it is against a gradient, or it has to travel through a long distance. And here they will give importance to the ions, especially sodium, which is very much important for the membrane potential. So these are given importance once they are absorbed by the active transport by spending energy. Then comes facilitated transport. Facilitated transport means here specific carrier molecules will be there. So they will absorb those. For example, glucose is absorbed by both simple diffusion also and by facilitated diffusion also, like GLUT1 proteins, etc., glucose transport proteins, etc. Next comes passive transport. Passive transport, here also no expenditure of energy. So here mostly the simpler substances of ions, magnesium, sodium, magnesium, etc., will be absorbed. And next comes is the fatty acid complex, like glycerol and other things. These glycerols and other things are absorbed in the form of micelles, and they will be reformed into a big molecules. All these micelles are reformed into big molecules, which is known as the cyclomicrons, and this they will be taken and given to the tissues for the further process of assimilation. And assimilation means the use, how absorbed materials, how they are going to use water, sugar. These assimilators, for example, glucose, when it is given to the blood, insulin will be secreted, and with the help of the insulin and glucose transport facilitated membranes, these are allowed to move into the cell, where it will be converted into energy. And here also water also will be taken back to the system through the large intestine, and it will be used. And after digestion of the food, if there is extra glucose is there, that will be converted into glycogen and stored it inside the liver. And if there is any fat or any other glycerol substances are there, that will be stored in the adipose tissue, and these adipose tissue is stored as a fat in the adipose tissue, and whenever there is a use of this fat, this will be taken back. That is why some animals like polar bear, then walrus and all, they have very fluffy skin, that is fluffy outer surface. It is because of the fat that is stored inside them. So these things they will do, and further they will use. Then next comes the disease. So actually the disease, the lack of vitamins, lack of proteins, all of them can cause disease, because with the lack of protein, there are two diseases are there, marasmus and kwashiorkor. It is very common disease, which kwashiorkor, when it is coming, it comes with thin body, bulged stomach. So when these proteins are not they are known as protein deficiency syndrome or protein deficiency diseases. They are called like that. And vitamins also, if the vitamins are not taken properly, then for example vitamin K, other things are not taken properly or not produced properly, blood clotting and other factors will never takes place. So each and everything what we are taking, and if there is no carbohydrates, no energy, no strength, so each and everything, and if there is no fat, not proper amount of fat, so the organs are protected mainly with fat, not huge amount of fat deposition, minimum amount of fat deposition. Huge amount of fat depositions also causes other problems like obesity and other things. So one of the most important thing is jaundice. Jaundice is one among the disease that is affect the liver. When we get jaundice, the bilirubin, the secretion from the liver started to see inside the blood. That is why the blood and the other parts of the body we are having yellowish in color. Then vomiting. That means if you have taken very spicy food, or if there was no proper digestion, or if there was any bacterial infection or food poisoning, so vomiting is a common factor. It is controlled by the brain. That means the vomiting center, control center in the medulla. Then comes diarrhea. Diarrhea means the liquid discharge through the anus because of indigestion. It can be because of any type of infection, or because some side effects of the medicines, or anything it can takes place. And constipation is the unable to pass the feces properly at a particular time, or movement of feces movement is irregular, that is known as constipation. And indigestion, that is the food is not digested properly. That means if you have taken extra food, or if you have taken some contaminated food, that will cause the problem of indigestion, which will leads to diarrhea and vomiting. And gastrophageal reflux disease, GRD, that means there will be a huge influx of gas through the esophagus, and it will cause heartburn, and we will feel that when we eat more spicy food some gas comes out. So they are known as the gastroesophageal reflux disease. So these are the very common diseases that is affect to heart, and we have to take a common diet, that means a balanced diet. And whenever we are taking diet, we have to make sure that since we need a balanced diet, and this diet should not become a over diet, so that we will become obese in condition. Once you get obese also, the cholesterol deposition will increase, the heart will not work, other organs will not work. Finally it will leads to many severe illness to the body. So we have to take a balanced diet. And Kwashiorkor, marasmus and Kwashiorkor, some of the common disease, that is because of not feeding of milk and not proper carbohydrates and proteins. These diseases are also possible in our body. So please go through the textbook, and if there is any doubt, reply to me back, or put as a comment or anything wherever I am posting this video. Thank you.